let's do a few more where we're going to make it a perfect square quadratic. So we're still going to follow the rules. So we always look at the middle term and we take half of it. It has to be the x term. That's really important. The middle term is always the x term, not the constant. So we have 12 over 2 divided by, 12 divided by 2, which is 6. Then we square the 6, which is 36. So that just means we add 36 there to make it now a perfect square. And this one would factor down to x plus 6 times x plus 6. 6, of course, comes from this one right there. And, of course, the plus sign comes from that one right there. Okay, so now we look at this one. So on this one, we have minus 6. So I have a 6 divided by 2. I'm not going to worry about the negative sign. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So I need to convert this to a 9. So to convert that to a 9, I have to add 8. So that way it becomes x squared minus 6x plus 9. So what did I have to add? I had to add 8 to that to get it to become a perfect square. So therefore we have x minus 3, x minus 3. The 3's come from here. The negative signs come from there. Okay. X squared plus 14x minus 10. So we look at the middle term. 14 divided by 2 equals 7. 7 squared equals 49. So therefore, this number has to be 49. So to make it 49, I'm going to have to add 59. So if I add 59 minus 10, that's going to give me 49. So that's going to be x squared plus 14x plus 49. And then I factor it, x plus 7 times x plus 7. The 7's come from there. The plus comes from here. Okay, and that's how we deal with those. Okay, let's do a problem. So this particular problem, we want to know how to do it by completing the square, which is kind of what they do already. And we're gonna follow the rules. So now we have an equal sign. So this is going to be important when we have this equal sign. So notice here I have my 6. I'm going to divide it by 2. That gives me 3. I'm going to square the 3. That gives me 9. So this number needs to be a 9. So to make it a 9, I need to add 1. So I have 8 plus 1 equals. And if I add 1 to the left side, I have to even it out by adding 1 to the right side. You might be learning some of these things in chemistry, where if you do something to a formula on one part, you have to do the same thing on the formula on the other side, on the other part. But what we have now is we have x squared plus 6x plus 9, which is my 9 that I needed there, equals 1. I can then factor this to x plus 3 times x plus 3. Where do I get that? Here's my 3. Those come down there. My plus sign goes right there. That equals 1. So it really is x plus 3 quantity squared equals 1. That's what this becomes. It becomes 1 quantity there. And then for the last step. So here is the last step that you need to take. So haven't done much discussion of this, but we have x plus 3 squared, square root. And then on the right side, we're also going to take the square root. But there's something I have to remember to do. So notice I just added a square root. I'll do it in a different color. Notice in this case, I had to do a square root here. And I had to do a square root here to get this. Okay, so to get that, I had to take a square root of both of them. And so when I do that, the square root and the square cancel each other because they're opposites. So the other thing I have to remember is to make sure on the right side always, no matter what, we have to put a plus or minus there. Okay, notice we do not put 1 here. So we have x plus 3 equals plus or minus 1. So that gives me 2 answers, okay? So I have x plus 3 equals 1 and x plus 3 equals negative 1. Okay, so that's where the plus or minus comes in. Now I subtract 3 from both sides, so I get x equals 2. Subtract 3 from both sides, and I get x equals negative 4. So these are my 2 solutions for this particular one. I could have factored it. Notice what I get. I get 2 and negative 4. Oh, it's not the same. I thought this was the same problem, but it's not. So I get 2 and -4 for this to be able to know what the values of x are using completing the square.